I'd like to call to order the WPCA and Town Council meeting for Tuesday, May 19th. Please join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mayor Angeloni.
Here.
Counselor Diamond.
Here.
Counselor Goad.
Here.
Counselor Mace.
Here.
Counselor Miller.
Here.
Counselor Rose.
Here.
Counselor Whitworth.
Here.
And Counselor Zampano.
Here.
Okay. Next item is approval of minutes of the April 21st WPCA and Town Council meeting. So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion was made by Counselor Diamond, second by Counselor Rose. Discussion? I just have one correction, and it is on page 15. Motion number, it's not, page 14 maybe. No, let me just see once I marked it on my other thing. Just hang on here. This is moving too fast here. It is, I thought it was motion 10, but when I look at motion 10, it says Mayor Rose instead of Mayor Angeloni. So it used first name instead of last name on there. So,
Because I don't want to be the mayor.
Oh, it says Counselor Rose.
no, there's one
No?
that says Mayor Rose, and let me,
Oh.
I,
Maybe we were talking about Al.
oh, here it is. It's on page 7, motion 10. It should be Mayor Angeloni instead of Mayor Rose. Does anyone else have any corrections? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Next item is community events and presentations. And tonight we have State Representative Vincent Candelora here to speak about the state budget and the additional funding that we got and some other things that happened. Thank you.
So, good evening, everybody. So as you probably all saw, the state did a budget passed around May 6th. I had been talking to the mayor and I thought it was a good idea, we both did, for me to just come out and sort of update everybody on what the intent was and what had happened. So this year was a midterm budget adjustment, which we have a 2-year budget, we're in our 2nd year. We did allocate additional money to towns through ECS and also through Pequot. The way the bill is written, it was a bit confusing. There's a lot of controversy, but ultimately it landed that the town is being given 2 tranches of money designated through the ECS education formula. They're equal amounts, so they're about $146,000 in change. The first one will come July 1st. The second one will come toward October, but they're meant to be utilized in your next fiscal year. And then there was Pequot money of about $50,000. The intent of the legislation, because we know most towns have already passed their budgets, they might have gone through referendum, some have completed them. There was language that we put in the budget that allows for the legislative body, for us being the town council, to take that additional money and appropriate it. So the money could be appropriated to education, or it could be used to reduce the mill rate, or any combination thereof. The only minimum requirement is that we honor the minimum budget reserve plus the additional funding that we got, which is roughly $293,000, which the underlying budget already fulfills. So I think there would be flexibility for North Branford to utilize this money. The second piece I wanted to mention is, in talking with the mayor, she had mentioned to me that there was costs in the school construction that were not being allowed at the state level because it's just timing requirements for invoicing. So the state, we were able to pass legislation to exempt North Branford's, I don't want to say errors, it was just delay in getting documentation to comply with the statutes. This happens all the time for towns, but that will allow North Branford to hopefully recover additional reimbursement costs for the high school. And I think the mayor had mentioned, we calculated that it's about $600,000 of additional state aid that will come back into the school project. And so I'm just happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Yeah.
In terms of the money for education, do I understand that the legislature really did not increase the ECS money per student? That stays at $11.35, I think it is. It's just this is a one-time thing then?
So it's weird. The roughly 170 million that was put into ECS was put into the formula, which is a permanent change in theory. Obviously, next year when we redo a budget, they could always cut it, but that was built into the ECS formula. So that included $10 million that goes to a lot of towns. So believe it or not, when they took $160 million, put it into the formula, about 100 communities got nothing, including North Branford. So they took a $10 million grant and divided that up among the towns. So that's the first tranche of money that we're getting, the $146,000. That is permanently baked in to our budget. So we should anticipate that 146 next year. The second tranche of 146,000 that the town is getting is earmarked as one-time revenue. So that is not put into the formula. So I think of the 293, 146 is ongoing, the other is not.
But the amount of ECS per pupil stays the same.
Yeah, and so
I'm still confused about that.
they left it all alone, right? So the governor started a blue ribbon panel. They're supposed to report back by January 1st of next year. Because we have to redo the formula. And I'll just say simply, the formula is very complicated, but there's two issues right now that we're seeing with the formula. There is a decline in English as a second language for districts. So districts are losing money because that enrollment is decreasing. That impacts our cities. It impacts communities like Clinton has a large population. So it impacts that town. So that needs to be looked at. The second is reval. We saw in North Branford, property values went through the roof. That impacts the ECS formula because they use property as a measurement of wealth. And so I think that's partly why when you put money into the formula, North Branford's getting nothing because we already went through reval. Our grand looks a lot higher or wealthier than towns that have not yet gone through the grand list. So all of that needs to be fixed at the state level. So it's partly why they didn't touch the foundation number, because it is a mess.
Well, I just think that it's confusing for them to call it money for education when really there's that piece where you can lower the mill rate. I just think it's unfortunate the way it was.
Yeah, I think, look, I mean, I think the formula is grossly broken. I think it needs to be looked at. I don't want to create turf wars, but when you look at, there are some communities, and you could guess who they are getting $18,000 per pupil, and then you have a neighboring community like Madison, like it's $160 per pupil. North Branford, we make out better. We get, I think, 4,200 4,000 per pupil. So it's really, the formula just doesn't work, especially for towns, so,
Plus, there's no cost of living increase
no.
built into it,
So, yeah, Guilford ran numbers, and so I have Guilford's. Back in 1996, 11% of their budget was funded through the state. They were getting about $3 million. Today, they're only getting about $1.5 million, and less than 1% of their education budget is funded by the state. So it really, I'm hoping we see some progress of how this money gets divvied up.
So this commission will make some of those recommendations by next January?
Right, and then the next budget cycle, we'll see adjustments. Ultimately, I think no one's gonna get less than what they've got this year. But hopefully there'll be a formula moving forward that's at the very least tied to inflation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you
All
so
right.
much for coming in.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on in the budget. Next is WPCA. There is no action to be taken on any items, so we're just gonna move on to the regular town council meeting. First item is reports of committees, boards, and commissions. First one is economic development.
Yes, the Economic Development Committee met on May 4th. There wasn't much on the agenda, but the only thing is the new owners for Central Plaza presented an overview of proposed improvements, including approximately $2.4 million in initial upgrades with additional future enhancements under consideration. The owner also expressed an intention to reinvest property revenue into ongoing improvements, addressing deferred maintenance and enhancing the overall condition of the plaza. That's all I have.
That's great news, though. Okay. Park and Recreation, I was unable to attend last month's meeting. Their meeting is next week on the 26th. Police Commission.
Okay, the police commission just met at 5 PM, so, excuse me, I don't have a lot of information. The deputy chief talked about quite a bit of training that's going on right now, because, I had mentioned last month the issue that some people had come about the problems in the high school parking lot, and it was explained that a lot of those issues have been addressed. They have put the, Public Works has put signs up, the police have a lot of patrols going on. They think that they solved that issue, and if there is an incident, each incident is reviewed and a determination is made separately. And then the last thing is there was a longer presentation on the Twin Lakes project, and it was very interesting to hear the ideas.
What, changing the project or just?
The Twin Lakes, the road project.
Yes, so, but it's already approved and.
Right, but
yeah.
then the people, the architect were talking about different options. Is one of the big things, I guess, that came up with, and I can be corrected by Deputy Chief, is that a lot of the people, when they had the meeting, were concerned about the speeding. So they've spent a lot of time talking about ways to deal with the speeding.
Okay. All right, thank you. Fire Commission.
Fire Commission had a meeting May 7th. Chief Lennon announced that the ambulance 45 is expected to be placed in service soon. The fire department responded to a total of 200 calls during the month of April. Of those calls, 8 were fire-related incidents, including 2 residential structure fires and 1 mutual aid response to the town of Durham for a commercial structure fire. That's all I have for that.
Okay, thank you. Planning and Zoning.
Not bad.
Okay. Finance Committee, we did not meet this month because it was a budget referendum, so we should be back on schedule next month. Public Safety Communications Subcommittee.
The May meeting was canceled because we're not quite ready with all the different changes we're making.
This is the whole Motorola?
The whole Motorola.
The radio, okay. Inland Wetlands,
Same thing, but not that,
Okay.
meeting this month.
okay. And Blueprint,
No meeting.
okay. On to Town Manager's Report.
Good evening. This July, the United States will celebrate its 250th anniversary. North Branford has joined America 250, a bipartisan initiative to engage Americans in celebrating this momentous occasion. We'll be coordinating activities with various local groups, including Parks, Recreation, and Senior Center, the North Branford Public Libraries, the Tuckett Historical Society, and others. Special thanks to Sarah Brown and Jessica Della Camera for their assistance with these efforts. Information on the events will be posted on the town's website when available, but some examples include Picnic at the Pavilion featuring the Middletown Symphonic Band, a patriotic Power Wheels parade, and an all-American baseball movie night hosted in partnership with the North Branford Little League. On May 5th, I attended a CCM seminar entitled Navigating Energy Market Uncertainty. We continue to see generational volatility in energy markets. We're monitoring prices to see if there is an opportunity to lock into beneficial prices, but forecasts are not encouraging. With no end in sight to the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East and the long-term implications of associated infrastructure destruction, we may see significant elevation that will impact the town's budget. Mayor Angeloni and I attended a press conference at BH Care here in North Branford on May 7th to commemorate Mental Health Awareness Month. By some estimates, as much as 20% of the population is affected by mental illnesses. The event is aimed at increasing awareness of these conditions, the realities of living with them, and the benefits of treatment, as well as reducing the stigma around mental illness. The town's annual budget referendum was held last Tuesday, May 12th. A total of 1,073, or 11.2% of registered voters, cast ballots in the referendum. The totals were 130 who voted to accept the budget, 916 who voted to reject the budget because it was too high, and 27 who voted to reject the budget because it was too low. Because the referendum did not reach the 15% turnout threshold in the town charter, the budget passed as recommended by the town council. We received notice yesterday that the town of North Branford has officially been redesignated as a heart-safe community. This 3-year designation recognizes the town's continued commitment to provide improved cardiac response and care to our residents. Thank you to Anthony Esposito, who led the redesignation efforts, as well as our first responders for their continued commitment to ensuring the health of our community. The South Central Regional Council of Governments will be holding a 2-day shared services meeting at the UI facility in Orange tomorrow and Thursday. I will be in attendance along with the CEOs of other municipalities of the region to determine whether regionalization can present any cost-saving measures for North Branford. I will bring any opportunities to the attention of the Town Council for discussion. This year's Potato and Corn Festival will be held August 7th, 8th, and 9th. Planning is ramping up into high gear. There are a few changes coming to the festival this year, and more information will be available soon. Interested vendors should visit the POCO website at nbpocofestival.com. And POCO is always looking for volunteers. If you're interested in volunteering, information is also available on their website. This year's Memorial Day Parade will be held in Northford Center on Monday, May 25th. Groups marching will assemble starting at 9 a.m. and the parade will step off at 10 a.m. Anyone with a family member or acquaintance who is a deceased veteran is invited to march and carry a picture in their honor. For veterans who are interested in marching, vehicles are available for you to ride in. This year's Grand Marshal will be Veterans Service Committee member Hamlet Hernandez. Anyone who's interested in participating should reach out to Gina Cox in the town manager's office or Kathy Poston at Parks, Recreation, and Senior Center as soon as possible. Parks, Recreation, Senior Center hosted a successful blood drive in memory of Nicole Ferrucci with 79 donations. They would also like to thank everyone who participated and attended the town's annual Touch a Truck event, especially the police, fire, and public works personnel. This year's senior picnic will be held in partnership with the North Branford Rotary Club on Thursday, June 11th. And finally, a new wellness walk will be installed at North Farms Park as we celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month. The North Branford Public Libraries will be hosting their annual summer reading kickoff on Saturday, June 13th from 1 to 3:30 p.m. at the Atwater Memorial Library. There will be mini golf, music, snacks, games, crafts, a raffle prize, and summer reading signups. This year's theme is Unearth a Story. No registration is required, and additional information is available on the library's website. The Regional Water Authority will be doing a hazardous waste drop-off event on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., May 30th through mid-October, at their location on 90 Sergeant Drive in New Haven. You can call 203-401-2712 for more information. And additionally, the Hazardous and Solid Waste and Recycling Committee is looking for new members for anyone who's interested. And finally, road work is set to start on Brook Lane, Oak Hill Drive, and Sunset Road West. The work will consist of removal and replacement of curbing with extruded concrete curbing, pulverizing and graving the existing roadway, replacing drainage components, and paving the road with a new pavement overlay. There will be no parking on these streets while the work is taking place. We ask for the residents' patience and caution during the interim while the catch basin tops are exposed. The paving that will follow is expected to occur in late summer to early fall. And following the paving operation, curbing and driveway aprons will be restored as necessary. Letters have been mailed to the residents on each of these roads.
Rose, I have a quick question.
Yep.
Rory, is last year's Potato Fest closed out, the books on that?
There may still be some outstanding bills and receipts coming in. We've been working through Munis. Part of the problem with doing the accounting has always been that there's no fixed POCO year like there is a fiscal year. And so we're going to be able to use a feature of Munis to better track the expenses by year going forward. But there may still be some stuff outstanding from last year.
The commission, I can tell you that the coordinators and the commission, Park and Rec Commission, have not received the report yet. So it wouldn't be reported to this body until they receive it first.
Okay,
So,
okay, thank you.
okay.
For permanent project, the driveway cracks are still under review at the police department. The repair of the green roof is scheduled to take place once school is out of session. They're reviewing cracks in the entryway tiles. And then work has commenced at the Edward Smith Library and is currently on schedule for a July 31st completion.
Okay. All right. Before we get into the next item, I just have some changes to the, some additions to the agenda. There was a notice that from the fire commission that didn't make the packet, that they would, so we need to amend the agenda to add an item, and I would like to add it under item B, so make it B1, only because fire commission is here for an item, so we'll just do the two together. So I would like a motion to amend the agenda to add use of opioid funds for the fire commission.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion was
What
made.
letter is it?
Pardon me?
What letter is it?
B, it'll be B1,
Item 13.
under 13B1.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, so that item has been added to the agenda. And the other item is, it's 13L. I would just like a motion to move that up to do it after item A, because there's people here for item A and I know they have to leave, and both items are related, so if we can just move item L to under A.
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to move item L after A. Item A, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, on to item 10, citizen statements, petitions, and correspondence.
Good evening. You remember that saying, when you see something like Gruff the dog, you got to say something about it? Well, I'm going to back up what I have to say with a packet for each of you. This is not a personal attack on the deputy mayor, but it's a procedural concerns I have. I was pretty, well, I'll use the word pissed off, because I was. I watched the budget hearing on the April 7th. You guys are all in place, your laptops are on, you're ready to do business at 6:30. The deputy mayor is not. And I'm backing it up because I got clips from all the Totucket TV actions. He starts, the first mistake he makes, he brings the wrong laptop. This tells me the man is not ready to do town business at 6:30 like he should be. He had the wrong computer. It's on the pictures. You're all going to get copies of these pictures. The next thing is, he's taking time, and he's stealing time from all of you to adjust his phone. It shows him plugging the charger in. Why does he need his phone when Rose is going through every single line of the budget? He's too busy doing something else. He's dishonoring you, and as a citizen, he's sure dishonoring me. And the last thing was, that really put me over the edge, he put a sign which you guys could not see. It said, "I need snacks." Come on. How long are we gonna put up with this stuff? It's ridiculous. It's not fair to you, more so than me, but as a system, as citizen, I'm pissed. So I'd like to back everything up with facts. And I have facts. None of this is made up. All of this was copied off of Totucket TV, and all of you are gonna get a copy. I wish he was here so he could personally apologize to you. Thank you. As you can see, I'm shaking because I'm aggravated. I'll leave him a copy in case he does show. Which is never known. So this is just, it's unacceptable. At the hardest time of you people doing town business, that's the last thing this man is interested in, town business. So again, I don't know how you want to handle it, what you want to do. I'm not happy. I don't know if a disciplinary action should be taken, but again, the hardest time of the year, Rose is going line by line. He doesn't have time to even pay attention to that. That was an insult to me, but I was more upset was an insult to all of you. I wish he was here, because there's more stuff I could discuss with him offline that I won't even bring up that I know about. So again, the man's got to be reeled in. All of you got to talk to him. I'll talk to him. I just feel it was a slap on all of your faces, and I don't like that. And I won't stand for it. I'll speak up for myself and for you at all times, because you guys were doing the hard work while he's riding along looking for snacks. Come on, that's 8th grade. I'm pissed.
Cliff, are you saying
Yeah.
he actually had a sign?
Yes, look at the last picture. That's a sign that says I need snacks.
It doesn't show.
See the white sign?
Yeah.
It says I need snacks. Well,
He-
that's
he-
8th grade.
he made a
That's
little-
8th grade.
Oh,
Man, he was hungry. He wasn't hungry for town business. He was hungry for his stomach. So I'm telling you, you guys gotta bring him up on charges or something. This is the man that's assisting the mayor. He's an anchor. He's not assisting her. He's getting in her way. And it's going on too long. And there's other stuff I won't bring up that I know about, and I think other people do too. This interaction with the fire department left a lot to be desired. So again, I'm sorry he's not here, because I challenged him with his face. but that's got to be dealt with sooner or later. And it's nothing I made up. It's April 27th, and those pictures were right off of Totucket TV. So,
Okay, Cliff, your time is up, I know.
okay, oh, it is.
Hey, Cliff,
That's why I get pictures.
Cliff, you said it was the assistant town manager that you meant this?
No, I mean the deputy town, no, the deputy mayor. I'm just a little upset.
Yeah, I just want to make sure Rory wasn't putting it.
Okay. Are there any other citizen statements?
Good evening. Chuck Larkins, Clear Lake Manor Road. I'm here for the North Branford Women's Club. I gave all of you the flag application for their event. We're going to have it on Wednesday, June 10th, on the lawn of the town hall here. And you're all invited. I extend this invitation every year, and we love to see you if you come out and support all their efforts. But I'm just here. If you have any questions, we'd love to see you.
It's a very nice event. I've been to several of them. and
Yes,
You
thank
do a
you.
great job.
Thank you for coming. But, yeah, Marie, you wanted to know the specifics. It's the 10th, 7 PM. It's on that application also. And I gave one to the town manager and all of you. If you have anything else, I'm here for it, to answer any questions you have.
Okay,
All right?
all right, thank you, Chuck.
for all you do.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So this- okay. Okay,
Bill Savastano, Sunnyside Drive. A big thank you to the council for getting us through the budget season. You know, it's another arduous task, but, everything works out well. No time to bring up any idios about it, but, thank you for that. Shout out to the Public Works guys. It's Public Works Week. I don't see either guy here for any, that's unusual. Anyway, those guys work hard year round. And also want to thank you in reference to town manager appointing Chris Holding to our recycle committee. He brings a wealth of knowledge from the last town he works in reference to recycling. And we're looking forward to doing some things under his supervision there. Last council meeting, I sent a email in, and it wasn't read. And if you bear with me just a moment. I know Rory at the meeting mentions about Earth Day, and that's why I'm here. It's about Earth Day, and thanks for that, Rory. Also, Rory, thank you for getting us through the budget season your first year. Got to be commended for that. Anyway, Earth Day went over well. This year we did it. They did it on Friday. As you know, every year I get permission from the Little League to share the field. We don't do this. We don't bully around. So we do that, and it went over well. Weather was good. We gave our usual giveaways, and this year we featured something different. If you've been there, you see we have a lot of little exhibits on the field. Takes a lot of work to get it there, and a lot of work to get it home. So what we did was we borrowed a big hay wagon from the town farmer, Mr. Brian Auger, and he allowed us to use the wagon. We put all those things on a wagon, and the good news is you're going to see it in the parade this Sunday, so Monday. So thanks for that. And again, in reference to our committee, e-waste and Earth Day, again, Chris, being a new man, he was there for both events, meaning Friday night. He actually, we got what they call an ecoscape, a waterscape from the RWA. It looks like a little kiddies thing with all sorts of roads and hills and valleys. And it shows the effects on water in the community, what rain does to waters and lakes and your sewers, etc. So, and then Chris was there the next morning for the big e-waste event we had. And we had a little ruffle to get started, but fortunately There was enough of us there to put together, and we got through it. But it was again, over 200 cars came. I'm forgetting to count how much weight was, but it's amazing to see how much electronics comes into that place. Propane tanks, mattresses, we got another 3 or 4 dozen mattresses. So that was it on the e-waste. I did want to, in reference to my last email, I've talked several times here and through emails about a tax freeze for us seniors. A couple of years ago, we updated the tax relief for seniors, which is all good. That was low-income people, the credits are there, that's good. But now I'm looking for something for our seniors. That is, seniors 75 and older, and maybe been in their town resident in their home for 20 years or more. Now there's a lot to discuss. You can play with the numbers. You can increase 75 to 80. You can increase the 20 years to 25. But I think we need a freeze. When I say freeze, I'm talking about a percentage of what it is. And also, I don't think we have any deferral process. That could be used in several different ways.
Okay, you have to wrap it up, Bill, because you're a little bit over your 3 minutes, so you can just wrap it up.
I will in a minute.
Well, you're,
I don't mean to be disrespectful, Mayor, but I only come once in a while. You know, I wasn't going to say this, but Walter brought up a couple of meetings ago. He used to have 2 meetings a month. That's 12 minutes of citizen statement time. Now you only have 1 meeting. So we get 6 minutes. So I apologize for I'm going over.
well, you're already over 5, so I'm just telling you, you got 45 seconds if you want to go with the 6 minutes. So, keep
Okay,
going.
Tataka TV, hopefully you can reconsider that. I think we need more meetings. Tax freeze and the blight. I think, I don't know, did we get a new town planner yet? Say again?
Not yet.
Not yet. Hopefully the next guy would, is really interested in blight. We have a situation in town, and not everywhere, but it needs to be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other citizen statements? I would just like to mention one thing, and that is that the North Branford Land Trust acquired property at Beach and Palms through an OSWA grant through the state. They acquired over 35 acres of land that the Regional Water Authority had for sale. They are going to have a ribbon cutting grand opening of the trails. They do have some trails already marked there. Part of this project is that they put in a parking lot. There is a kiosk there now that was all built by timber, wood from one of the members and volunteers. And they are also going to have an ADA accessible trail from the parking lot to a vernal pond on the property to use. And so there will be dedication on June 6th, which also happens to be Connecticut Trails Day. So hopefully it's great weather and everyone is welcome to come. They will be leading hikes. They'll have the ribbon cutting and everything in regards to it. So that starts at 9:30, and it is it's on Beach Street, so it's Upper Beach Street. It's between like 140 and 170. There is no street address exactly, but you won't be able to miss it because you'll be able to see the parking lot and everything. All council members did receive an invitation. You are all invited to come, and as the town manager was sent one also to send to department heads. So we hope to see you there.
Madam Mayor, I don't know about the rest of the town council members, but I think somebody here was accosted and attacked verbally, and I think he has a right to defend himself and he should be made aware of what happened.
I just was made aware of it. This is interesting.
So Cliff Potter brought it up, so let him address you.
I want to continue on with the meeting right now
That's
to
fine.
get through this because there are people here for items on the agenda, so I am not going to spend time right now
Okay.
in regards
I appreciate
to
it.
that.
I just think people should
No,
face their accuser and
It's fine.
defend themselves.
There's
You have to say
another,
about
there's,
opinions, right?
there's another citizen statement after the meeting,
Oh, we'll
so,
wait for that then.
so that's fine.
Yeah, but also, citizen statement's not a debate.
It's not.
Right,
Yeah,
So-
we don't wanna get into it.
No.
We don't wanna make a circus
It
out of
is
this.
perfectly fine.
so we are going to continue on with the meeting. Resignations and appointments. The first is resignation of Christopher Heon from the Planning and Zoning Commission as a regular member, term to expire 5/31/26. I'd just like to thank Chris for his time on Planning and Zoning. And we look forward to getting a replacement appointed for him. The next is resignation of Daniel Seiden from Planning and Zoning Commission as an alternate, term to expire 5/31/27. And thank you to Dan Seiden for his time on Planning and Zoning. The next item is appointment. Do I have a motion for the appointment of Jenna Gobriel to Planning and Zoning as an alternate to fill Dan Seiden's position, term to expire 5/31/27?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Counselor Diamond, seconded by Counselor Miller. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. The next one is, do I have a motion for an appointment of Kara Papa to the Agriculture Commission? She currently is an alternate on the Ag Commission, and this is to replace Stephanie Capasso as a regular member, term to expire September 30th, 2026.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Counselor Diamond, seconded by Counselor Miller. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. And the last one is the reappointment of Peter DeSantis to the Regional Water Authority Representative Policy Board, term to expire June 30th, 2027.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Counselor Diamond, seconded by Counselor Miller. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Okay. No unfinished business. Next is item 13, new business discussion and action. First item is POCO Festival 2026, request to hold special event with beer and wine. So this is an annual thing since we started having the beer and wine tent, and it's a request from the POCO committee. This is done in correlation with work from the police chief. He has allowed POCO in the past to it's not just beer and wine, it's, he has allowed us to do seltzer drinks also. And that was new last year. And he was, the police department was fine with that because it's all pre-measured and there's no hard alcohol on site to be poured or anything. So that, the police chief had allowed us to do that because it becomes their jurisdiction as to what can be served. So,
Motion to authorize Central Cafe to sell wine, beer, and canned seltzers at the 2026 North Cranford Potato and Corn Festival on August 7th through 9th, 2026.
I'll second that motion.
Discussion?
yep,
I don't think it's the town council's job to be picking a bar to work there. It's our job to say you can sell wine and beer there.
this was the motion, yes, we.
I know that's what the motion said, I'm just
Wait.
saying that I think that it's our job to say, yes, you can sell wine and beer there. It's not our job to pick somebody unless, and then if it is our job, then how do we pick somebody?
You know, the the vendor that was chosen by the POCO committee.
So that's
That was-
okay.
that-
So
that's
again,
fair.
we should be just approving
So you can, so
beer
the-
and wine at it, and I think that would be, because in our charter, it says that you can't have beer and wine on town
Town-
property.
Correct.
So we should just be approving the beer and wine. and
So Marie, do you
that
want
committee-
to,
and that committee
do you want to
is
amend the
picking who
motion?
they're picking, and how they do that, they might want to check with the town attorney, but.
Yeah, Mayor, if I
Can
may,
I make?
I think you have to be a little bit careful, because if you amend the motion just to allow beer, wine, and seltzer, if it's too broad, you can have every vendor, the fellow selling hamburgers or tacos or everything, you can have every food truck having beer, wine, and seltzer, which I don't think is what your intention is. You may want to limit it to one vendor, name to be selected by X.
So do
I
you
think
think it's
that's,
okay for the town council to pick a vendor?
that's your decision, or you can just, someone is picking a vendor. It's my understanding in listening to this over the last few years, you only want one vendor to have. It was first beer and wine, and now it's beer, wine, and seltzer. You don't want this turning into like other fairs where every truck has the ability, who has a license, selling it.
This is not how the motion was written last
Right,
year.
so I don't know if you want to limit it to just one vendor selected by who? Someone's going to have to select
Or
that
like, say,
person.
it's usually a tent with a specific location.
That's the beer tent.
So it's, so what it is that it's the beer and wine tent that is run by the POCO Festival. It's the beer and wine tent from the POCO Festival. That's the only,
It's the committee's tent, so you may authorize the sale of beer, wine, and seltzer at the committee's tent, if that's how we're going to define it, and then and then they're going to pick the vendor, they go with whoever that may be.
I have a question for
Amend
Alan.
my
Is your
motion?
concern is that there's other vendors in town, other restaurants and bars that could participate?
I don't know that, I just thought from sitting up here for 30 years, this doesn't seem like this is something that you would just pick a vendor out of the blue, the town council, to do this. I have no problem with the way the attorney just said to do it, but I think that, I don't think it's the town council's job to pick who's selling beer. It's our job to.
and you're right.
It's our job to break the charter and say, yes, you can sell beer and wine on town-owned property.
It's actually to your advantage as a community not to pick the vendor, because this way, if something happens between now and August, that vendor goes out of business, loses their license, decides to go elsewhere that weekend, the committee is going to be scrambling to
Right,
find
they
another
can find
vendor, and
somebody
you'd
else.
have to have a special meeting to approve it. This way, you've given them their approval if that's your decision, and that they can pick whatever vendor or change vendor if necessary. Or have two vendors, it's one tent selling it. They can have a beer vendor, a winery vendor, and a seltzer vendor, I suppose.
All right, so what should the motion say?
I have a question before you go to that. Does the POCO committee, do they sign a contract with Central Cafe? All right? So we don't have access to that to see what's going on, I take it. Is that-
What do you mean, access to see what, in what respect?
Or does the town attorney get to review?
The town, yeah,
That's
when I
what-
first came on, I got involved in this because we wanted to make sure, and Mike Fumiati is very involved, that we have contracts, we have certificates of insurance, and they've got their little checklist, and, that the liquor provider comes in, is licensed, has their necessary, whether it's a one-day certificate or whatever license allows them to sell at the event. So we don't have a problem with someone coming in saying, I'm your beer vendor.
Okay.
And they are going to have a liquor violation or a insurance problem, and you can, yeah.
For this specific issue, it has to go through the police chief.
I can't hear you.
It has to go through the police chief, this
Okay.
application process. So he's the first person that signs off on it, and then it goes to you. So it goes nowhere without the police chief's stamp of approval of the vendor, and there's other criteria needed. They have to have mobile bartending, catering license. There's a lot of steps to it. There's very limited people we can hire.
So it's only Cafe that, they're the only ones that can do this here. Somebody else can't come along, set up a tent next door and say, we
Correct.
can do it too.
Well,
So it's-
yeah.
It's
that's-
monitored, I take it.
Very much so,
Okay.
yes. Yes.
Whatever the motion is, that.
So why don't you, try your same motion without the name of the vendor. What was the motion again? Read it and I can help you with it, if you want.
Well, so it just,
So I'm confused as to what my motion is now.
So just leave out the vendor, right?
Yeah, you leave out the vendor name that the town council is authorizing.
The town council is authorizing the POCO Festival to sell beer, wine, and canned seltzer beverages at their tent at the POCO Festival this year.
That's
I
stipulated.
will go along with as
That seems
stipulated.
to solve that problem.
That's fair.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Did we have to withdraw the motion that was on the floor?
Oh, I
Nope,
amended it.
amended.
You amended it,
She amended it.
my favorite thing.
I assumed that by her new motion, she was inherently withdrawing it, and the second was withdrawing it. My interpretation.
Got it.
Okay, all right. So now we're gonna go to, we amended the agenda to move up item L, tractor pull events, on here. So, Rory, do you want to take this over right now to just talk about this a little bit?
So I had a conversation with Cliff Potter, who's been overseeing the tractor pulls that the town has hosted for a number of years. It's my understanding they were set up by the Agriculture Committee when it was initially formed, before it was recently reformed. So he expressed a desire to retire. He's been communicating with the reconstituted Agriculture Commission about them taking over the events and what would be required for that to happen. So the first concern was about liability for the town. And so in working with the town's insurance broker, we discovered that the town's liability policies have specific exclusions for events like tractor pulls, which we were previously unaware of. And so the next step was to look at ensuring that the town has liability coverage. And so in working with the town's broker, they recommended special event policies that would cover it. There are, depending on how the town council would want to proceed, we got pricing. The tractor pull that is held at POCO, because the attendance is generally higher, the cost of that policy would be slightly higher. The price that we got for the POCO event was $1,400. The two other proposed ones, we were given a range of approximately $750 to $1,000, and if we bundle them all together, the overall price might be lower.
Bruce, can I add some more to this?
Well, let's let
Okay,
the
but
town,
it's only-
the
it's
assistant.
not POCO. I want to get that.
No, yeah,
Okay.
but it's kind of all wrapped into one because it's but it would be special, separate events on there.
Yeah, and so it's, I know that the town, is a proud agricultural tradition and that the tractor pulls are an important part of that. But I wanted to make sure that the council had the information needed to ensure that we're protecting, the town and the taxpayer.
So we'd just be getting insured for those specific events, it wouldn't be throughout the year we could have them?
Only two.
We would tailor the coverage to however it was set up, right? But yeah, because there's an exclusion in the town's general liability policy, we would need additional coverage.
Do you know how much it would be just to have it in general, like if they were to have one every week?
I think it's on a kind of a per basis kind of pricing.
Per event, huh?
Yeah.
Can I clear this up, Rose?
Okay,
Okay. What's happened is, we had a guy that ran them, Vinny. He got hurt. We got old. There's a guy willing to pick up a fall and a spring pull. Nothing to do with the Potato Fest, because that's covered under Rec Commission. These are two standalone polls. That's all this present, and it wouldn't be any this year because it's too late. But this guy, all he's looking to do is make sure if he comes, because he runs it, his name's Calamari. He wants to do it next year. So that's why I'm trying to help the Ag Commission. And he just wants to make sure he's covered, because he runs it technically. He keeps track of everything. We just give him the weights and the land. He wants event insurance before he'll say, yes, he'll do it. But the Ag Commission's very sparse on help, so they only want to do one in the spring and one in the fall. They're too busy. They're farmers. So in the middle of the year, the Poco Fest wouldn't be part of this at all. We couldn't do it at the Poco Fest because it's an all-day event now. We've gotten that popular in this town. It takes all day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. to run a tractor pull. I know. I've been there for all those hours. So that's what I'm trying to help them wean into this. But like the guy wants to do it, all he's asking for, am I going to be insured if I set the pull up and run the tractors?
Okay.
So nothing to do with the Poco Fest.
Right, no, we had to also include the POCO. It's a separate event.
Yes.
So, because all of these, from my understanding, would be a special event. You would get the insurance for whatever that event day is
Yes.
on there.
One in May, one in October.
So I would just like to call Steve Torino up because he's the chair of the POCO Festival. Can you just talk a little bit about the track? It's not a 3-day event at the POCO Fest and exactly what it is.
Yeah, so currently our vendor is a professional outfit. They're Middlesex tractor pullers. They pull all over. We're the smallest event they have. They get paid thousands and thousands of dollars and we're their first event of the year. Saying that, they have their own insurance. They're only here one night. They signed if I pronounce it wrong, I apologize, the waiver of
Subrogation.
Thank you. And their threshold is higher than what we require any of our other vendors outside of our circus and amusement vendor. So their policy is already higher than what we require. Currently, I think we're at $1 million, and they're at $2 or $3 million. So, and these are lawnmowers. They're not big John Deeres or Farmalls. So they're just lawnmowers. So I don't know if that changes anything, but they do have their own insurance, obviously, yes. They would at some point go for the deepest pocket, but
Okay.
we've had them forever.
So with their insurance, then they named the town of North Branford.
As
on the
additionally
policy.
insured, yeah. And that stays on of Rose. I won't use her as her title in this capacity, but Rose and I handle the logistics of it, of the event, and everything gets turned over to our director first, and then gets a review, goes to risk management, Mike Fumiati, and if our town attorney's been amazing, helping us navigate through the way, but we think we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing and keeping the town's liability down in the best interest as our number one priority.
Brian, can you just expound a little bit about like why this is now? I mean, because we've been doing this for a number of years and it just kind of came to light now that like we need this extra policy and we weren't exactly sure why the POCO did because we've been having all of the insurance certificates and meeting all of the requirements and not exactly sure why all of a sudden this is like we need this extra policy.
I can give you a little input.
Well, no, I'm talking about the POCO Fest.
The
So-
form, we had a form that was approved by a prior town attorney. That's how we got away with it all those years. The form, every puller signed the form. That's how the town attorney issued it, and that I kept track of. And if something happened, nothing happened, so we never had to do it, but it was a release form.
Yeah, that's for the tractor pulls, the separate ones. This is
Yes.
specifically for POCO Fest.
Right,
Because-
there's two standalone.
Right. So let's just address the POCO Fest as to why we need this extra policy.
If, I was unaware that the vendor is meeting our insurance requirements. I thought all three were linked, and that's why we requested the policy.
Okay.
If the POCO vendor is meeting all of our standard insurance requirements, then POCO is probably fine.
Okay,
It would be for the other standalone tractor pull events.
Which is how much for the two of those?
I believe they said somewhere between 750 and 1,000 would be likely
For
per event.
per event?
And it might be reduced, combining it into a single policy, but that was the range we were
May I
given.
ask Rory a question?
Sure.
Does it matter if we require them to exceed what our other standard requirements are for insurance requirements? Like, we have to have a different threshold than.
That's probably not a bad idea. Yeah.
More is fine, less is
More is always
unacceptable.
fine.
Okay, thank you.
And I think, we've heard, Michael Fumiati talked to me briefly about this, and he's not here so I can talk for him. There is an exclusion in the town's policy for use of mobile equipment such as tractors in any prearranged racing, speed, demolition, or stunting activity. That's exactly what this is, basically, a tractor pull. So an exclusion means if something happened and someone brought a lawsuit against the town because we let the spectators too close, we put the bleachers too close, they weren't inspected, you're always going to sue the town if someone, God forbid, is injured. Not the guy driving the lawnmower, but the town. So there is exposure. If the town is going to be responsible for organizing or overseeing this, and by the town I mean the Ag Commission or any commission or board, if we as a community are responsible for organizing or overseeing it, whether at POCO or other events, we need to get a supplemental insurance policy. Otherwise, if we have a vendor, this is kind of like your fireworks or your amusement rides or the jet ski or the helicopter, they're going to give you those policies. I'm sure the town policy doesn't insure us for helicopter rides either, or fireworks. These are things you need special policies for because of their inherent risks. So as long as we get those policies with our coverage, additional insured, hold harmless, and the documents we need, that's going to protect the town if a lawsuit was brought. We're an additional insured on the policy. That's what the important thing is. So POCO, we're probably fine from what Steve is talking about. It's these other events. It's if the Ag Commission or whatever group is going to be having these a couple of other times a year and you don't hire a vendor and some gentleman comes in and just organizes it, that we need protection for that as a community.
Hey, Brian?
Yeah.
Did you take the helicopter ride?
No, not a chance.
I mean, that's something I think that we should, but maybe those two events, right? I mean, is that something we think about doing?
Yeah, I think we can, because it's not going to be for this year.
Yeah.
Right now, according to Cliff, they're just trying to organize it. So I think if we can get a more definite cost for 2 events a year for them and just bring the cost of that. I mean, I know that a lot of people do go to the tractor pulls, and given the nature of the town and the agricultural feel and everything else, I think it would be a shame not to do them.
Well, if the fee is
People
$750
enjoy
to
it.
$1,000, I think that's inexpensive for everything you're gonna be doing that day, so, and if you're indemnified and held harmless, as the council said, I don't think that's an expensive fee for the day.
So it's the cost, I mean, it's a cost that we have to absorb in our
Yeah.
insurance, the town's insurance is
Yeah.
what it would be. So if you can just get a more definite cost to us based on that information, 2 events, that would be great. Okay. Okay, on to item B, Board of Fire Commissioners request for special revenue fund for fire and EMS training.
Good evening.
Hello, Chief.
Eddie had me come up here to talk. What we're looking to do is.
He's there for moral support,
Yeah.
is that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
we teach a lot of outside classes where we charge. And right now, the way my budget's set up, I can't cover the instructor cost for that. So we're looking to be able to take the revenue from those classes to cover overhead and kind of similar to how the police do the extra duty for road jobs, something similar to that. The plus of doing it this way is, you take the revenue in, cover all the instructor costs, the overhead. Our members always get free classes. So in theory, it'll help later on lower my training budget by, being self-sustaining. So that's the intention of this. Right now, we've had requests to contract as far as Old Saybrook, doing EMT classes and stuff like that. So there's some money to be made there, and then in turn, our members get free training out of it. So that's the intention of this.
Okay, so Anthony, can you just tell us how this would work on, as
Just
far
as the chief explained, it would be a special revenue fund where the fees would be derived from the other towns that we're doing the training for. As you mentioned, Chief McFarland's doing a class currently in Old Saybrook. So the revenue would be put into this fund. The expenses for the instructors, materials, books, things like that would come out of this fund. At the end of the day, the hope is that there's enough money there to, A, as Chief mentioned, train our own people for free and buy other equipment that we normally would use tax dollars for. The interpretation or the understanding, this is a lucrative situation that we're missing out currently on. So again, the goal is that at the end of the day, there's cash in that pot that we could then use.
So it's a non-lapsing account.
Non-lapsing account.
Love that term, non-lapsing.
Yeah.
Money stays there.
Money stays right there for that one specific purpose. You could put any kind of criteria you want as far as, when it comes to the point where there is surplus cash, does it go back to the fire commission, does it go back to you guys? That would be for you guys to determine how you want to, at that point in time, if there is at the end of the day surplus money, is it under just the chief's signature? The regular expenses are done through the chief's signature as a department head, payroll, things like that. When it comes to the surplus items, let's call them at the end, how that is derived, maybe I don't know if the chairman wants to chime in on that, or.
Yeah, he's over here.
Maybe the board should go through and approve anything in that nature, give them the latitude to approve that, or if you want to come back to you guys.
Well, I believe with the police extra duty account
Well, it's back to you guys.
and the fund for the vehicles,
Right.
they can make a recommendation to us, but the final rests with the council. And if we're gonna, my personal feeling is if we're gonna set up an account like this, which makes sense to me, I think it should come back to the council if there's any money to be spent outside of the coursework, everything else. You wanna buy something with the money in there, I think the council should have.
Yeah, I think you're right. Need to keep everything consistent.
Right. And so this would get all function through Munis, set up through Munis and tracked through Munis and everything else?
Exactly.
Okay.
Are we allowed to charge other towns?
Yep.
But wasn't there an issue when we built that training tower? And I remember
You're thinking like mutual aid towns?
Yeah.
No, that's something totally different.
Okay.
It-
I just wanted to.
This is not the
is
training
not-
tower per
No,
se.
right.
This
These
is
are all certification classes,
Right.
Okay.
similar to what, you can go to Yale and take a class.
Okay.
We're just gonna do a little bit cheaper, and so people wanna come here instead of
Oh,
there
okay.
and stuff
All
like
right.
that.
I didn't know if.
I know what you're talking about. Mutual aid towns, you let them use our training tower,
Right.
reciprocate, things like that. This is
This is
state
different.
certified courses that you need to be an EMT, to be an EMR, to be a paramedic. That
Okay.
we have the people that can teach that. So as Chief mentioned, we're gonna be competitive.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, so was there anything like guidelines or anything on the police accounts that were set up at the time those accounts were set up that the council
I can go,
approved?
I can research. I don't remember, to tell you the truth. That goes back several years, but I'll go back and check see if there's any.
I mean,
guidelines.
I just think, to Tom's point, we need to be consistent because it's very similar to.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
To
yeah.
those accounts. So, is the consensus of the council that you'd like to move forward on this? And just get more information, to bring forward at the next meeting so that we can put the blessing on it for you with the guideline, with all of our policies or however it's gonna work. If you can bring that forward, that would be great, on there. Okay, so now we'll go to item 13B1, which is the agenda item add-on here, that the Board of Fire Commissioners would like to request permission to use money from the opioid fund account to purchase 2 used LifePak 15 monitors.
This was when it was in the budget, didn't get funded, and Chief McFarland had worked with the vendor and came back with some more advantageous pricing. And currently, there's $63,640.80 in the opioid pot. This is legitimately an expense that in the opioid literature, they call out, a lot of overdoses will end up into cardiac situations where you're defibrillating and things like that. So it definitely is a tie-in to the opioid environment, and it definitely is listed in the expenses that they condone, they suggest you use for that kind of thing.
So the opioid account right now has 63 in change?
Correct, 63,640.80. We've gotten 138,000 to date. The only thing we spent so far, we put 75 current year towards the police budget to offset the officer that's involved in the
drug.
The drug thing.
Yeah.
So that leaves us to 63,640 that's there currently.
And we have a reduced price. Chief McFarland hit the vendor pretty hard. So the new price is $53,291.20. And so by doing this purchase, we'll make all 4 of our ambulances paramedic capable, and we'll have a backup. Right now, one of the monitors goes down, we have to take it off one of the ambulances. That makes it BLS level, no paramedic. So now paramedics across the board capable, which is the intention, so.
Okay, so the 2 used LifePaks are $53,291.
Yep.
Is what you.
Yep, and that's a 3-year warranty and all the modems and all the bells and whistles that we need.
How long would something like that actually last for?
What's our oldest, John?
Our oldest is about 8 years old now.
Still using them, so. The lifespan, they keep changing. They have the new model out, so I'm sure they're gonna phase this one out. But the new model is how much?
About $67,000
Per, so, yeah.
Okay. So do I have a motion to authorize?
So what, wait a minute, why wouldn't we buy the new model?
It's a different version, and the technology, they've been having trouble with it, so we don't trust it yet.
It's like getting a first year engine, you know what I mean, with the motor.
Yeah.
Let it work out the bugs.
Makes sense.
Yep. And then it's standardized across the board, they'll all be the same model, same wires and all that stuff.
5352.
Well, no, just.
We all get checked into that. All right, I'll make a motion that we allocate $53,500 to the fire commission, I'm sorry, to the fire department budget for the cost of the 2 LifePaks.
Second.
To come from the opioid.
Sorry, come from the, I'm sorry, excuse me, come from the, what is the count of the opioid?
Opioid fund.
It's just opioid fund? Okay, from the opioid fund.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Deputy Mayor McMillan, seconded by Councilor Goode.
Question.
Any further discussion? Yep.
All right, so the number he just stated is different from the number here.
Right, because he said they did more negotiating and brought
Got
it
it.
down. So we just rounded it.
Yeah.
Turned it up by
Very good.
couple bucks.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Tommy,
All right.
thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Thanks.
Motion carries. Thank you.
And
Okay,
change on this?
Do we do one of the motions, the wording was inconsistent, yeah.
okay. The next item on the agenda is Public Works mechanic positions. So we're on page 39 of our packet. So the first item is job description changes. So there's job descriptions in here for garage lead man, mechanic, and then the part-time equipment mechanic. And this has come before us because there's a notice, Public Works received notice that their lead mechanic is retiring. And so it's a good time to review the job descriptions and make any changes. So they've all been in the packet. So it's just, there's motions on page 39 for the first item.
I'll make the motion that the town council approve the job descriptions for garage lead man, mechanic, and part-time equipment mechanic as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion was made by Counselor Diamond, seconded by Deputy Mayor McMillan. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. And because during budget season, we put in a hiring review before any jobs could be posted, there is a motion for item 13B2 on page 39 also.
I'll make the motion that the acting town manager be authorized to recruit for a garage lead man and mechanic as needed.
Second.
Motion was made by Counselor Diamond, seconded by Deputy Mayor McMillan. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Okay.
So, yeah, actually, I did have a question, but
Okay.
is that one position or is it two?
Well, it's two. There's the lead and then there's mechanic. So we have someone in the mechanic and most likely they are going to apply to become the lead. So then that would open up the mechanic position. It's still one position, but there might be movement. So that's why the motion reads
Yeah.
that it'll either be lead or mechanic.
Yeah, they're hiring one guy.
Okay.
But it depends on if the person in mechanic moves and becomes the lead, now because it's the lead is the one that's
Is the open
retiring.
position.
Is the open.
Right, okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, next item is Regional Water Authority paving agreement.
So this is a similar agreement to what we've accepted from the first phase of the work on Brook Lane from Totucket to about the Eversource easement, or United Illuminating easement. This will be from that location, about 14 Brook Road, across the culvert, and then to the end of Summit on Foxton Road. So we've reviewed the estimate and believe that the $40 per square yard is a good price for the repair, permanent patch for the road. This will allow us to do a much more thorough project. Instead of just having the trench patched, we'll be able to do the full road work.
Okay. Okay, so there's a motion on page 57 of our packet.
Now therefore be it hereby resolved that the town council approves the proposed paving agreement for Sunset Road from 14 Brook Lane to Foxton Road between town and the RWA. The RWA shall enter into the paving agreement with Exhibit A, and that the town manager be hereby authorized to execute said addendum on behalf of the town, subject to approval of the agreement by the town attorney. Said agreement shall be executed by both parties and filed at the town clerk.
I'll second that.
Motion was made by Counselor Diamond, seconded by Deputy Mayor McMillan. Discussion?
Yeah, I got a question. So the water company put a new water line in there?
Yes.
So they dug the road up?
Yes.
So by the town standards, they would have had to put a temporary patch
That's what's in there now.
and then
correct.
come back, so the temporary patch is already done?
Yep.
Okay. I just was looking at the $40 a square yard, and I'm like, no way is that temporary patch and the patch, but
Nope, so,
I'll
yes,
agree that it's one, so we're getting money
correct,
and then we're doing the work.
correct. And their temporary patch was minimum 4 inches match existing, so it was, I think, up to 6 inches is what was out there, so.
Okay. I'm done.
So when you say we're getting the money, meaning the town, our town guys are gonna repave that, is that what you're saying?
No, it's a
Well, we'll
project, right?
hire our contractors that normally do that. Tilcon will do the work.
But we'll get the money for the RWA to put towards the cost of the
Right.
project
Okay.
on that.
Got it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next item is COT service agreement. And we're on page 65 of our packet. So we've already awarded this contract back in December.
So we just need the motion.
We just need the motion there to authorize so that we can execute it.
Motion that the acting town manager be authorized to execute the agreement with the COT system in consultation with the town attorney.
Second.
Motion was made by Deputy Mayor McMillan, seconded by Counselor Diamond. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Next is proposed tax collection policy changes. So a lot of stuff here on COT.
65.
Okay, actually on ours, it's page 88.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get through it.
Yeah.
All right, 88. All right.
So,
Is Jerry gonna go before we do the motion?
yeah, so we'll let.
I
Yeah.
I didn't know if you,
And-
oh, you're up at the microphone, so I thought you might have.
You just wanted.
No, I didn't know if you had any questions on any of it.
Oh,
Okay, if you want to just summarize a little bit
Sure.
as to what this,
The first one was just the, please no mailing for second installment. Property tax bills, both payment coupons are included in the July bills. Not that they'll be mailed in June, but they're included within the July bills, which most people know that. First and second half are all together.
sure.
So it's just a change on that one. The other change was basically, actually, like, no response on this one. This is, the liens. When we process liens, it doesn't need to go to the finance department anymore. It automatically goes to the town clerk, and it gets recorded there. That's always been like that. There's nothing that needs to be approved in the finance department. We updated so that when it goes to the attorney, it's 3 years or $10,000. It's always been like that, but I just updated it in the procedure itself, so you can see that. And what was the other one? Oh, motor vehicles. We get a lot of asked questions every day, anywhere from like 2 to 5, that they need a release with Department of Motor Vehicle. It should be, the policy, I guess originally was, when I went to Anthony, was 10-day hold if you need a release with DMV, unless you pay in cash. And we wanted to specify that in the policy. So if you pay by check, you pay by debit, you pay by a credit card, it's a 10-day hold. Unless you come in and pay in cash. And then we can release it right away for you. Because we still have to go into the computer and release it with DMV in order for them to.
For the
release your
hold?
card.
Yeah, why a 10-day really?
It looks like it was already.
Well,
To make sure that the payment
Everything
clears.
clears.
They can't contest a credit card transaction and cancel it after they get the clearance.
10-day is the industry standard, or?
10-day standard, if you actually even give us a check, it's a 10-day hold before we can actually release anything. It takes at least 10 days for that check to actually.
Okay.
Was that previous language just shortened it up? Is that what it was?
That was actually, I don't think I shortened it up to do the 10-day hold.
Right, that's what I'm saying, so
Back
you
there.
just, yeah. So it was already 10 days anyways, you just shortened up the language and.
Shortened up the language.
So how do we prove that where it's gotta be cash? Or it already is? That is the policy right now.
Well, we actually have been doing it for debit or credit cards, which you can still contest that too.
Right.
You can test a cashier's check, a money order. It
So
should be coming in with cash, we can release it right away. Otherwise, it's a 10-day hold.
So what do you need us to do?
well, these are all,
It's just to
Policy
update the
changes,
policy.
it's
a policy
updated.
just to update the policy,
Right.
just so we can post it, so people are aware of it.
Yeah.
That, I mean, we get people that, you know, have 3-4 years back, so. So that was that. And then I think the other thing was on the suspense list, I just added and/or, and transferred to the suspense list. I just fixed the
So it's just updating the policies.
updating it,
So there's
yeah.
one motion that takes care of
All of it, yes.
all of this on page 88 of,
All right, so the motion is be it hereby resolved, the North Branford Town Council meeting adopts the updated tax collection process.
is there a second?
Second.
Motion was made by Deputy Mayor McMillan, seconded by Counselor Goad. Any other discussion?
Question. I was always under the impression that a cashier's check or a teller's check was as good as cash because it's drawn by the bank and gives you the actual document. Is that acceptable as cash or no?
No. The reason being is you can go back to the bank or wherever you got the money order, wherever you got the cashier's check from, and tell them that you lost it. Now they cancel it or they stop payment on it and you're out the money and they've already registered a car.
Huh.
It does happen, I've seen it happen.
Okay.
That's good, thank you.
Just so
I
you guys
didn't know
are
you
aware.
can do that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
Chair, why don't you touch on the address issues?
I was just gonna,
Hot
yeah,
topic.
I was gonna ask that.
yeah.
The address that's on the delinquent notices that went
Well,
out. for
well, they're gonna be
September,
on,
gonna be
on the tax bills
tax
too.
bills for July. We always use TD Bank for a lockbox. They're our processing company that does all the processing of the bills for us. They moved from Connecticut to Massachusetts. So that's where the change of address is coming from,
Right, so the processing center closed in Connecticut.
in Connecticut.
They moved it to Massachusetts, that's why there is a Massachusetts address on the, to send. We still need a tax collector because they still have to process things.
Because anything that goes to Massachusetts can come back to us to be processed.
Correct.
depending on what
They
it
just
is.
collect the money and
Yeah.
bring it back. And you can also, people can also come into the tax office and pay here at Town Hall if they do not want to send it to the Boston
And they
address.
can pay online.
Right,
We'll be finalizing an insert to go in the tax bills, and that will be one of the topics that's covered. So there will be an explanation that goes out with the bills.
right. Okay, great.
Now, was that a recent change? Or was it always like
The
that?
address?
Yes.
No, it started last year,
Okay.
but we didn't want to change the address until this coming year. So.
The old address went out on the July bills last year.
Yeah, it was all the old address on every single bill that had gone out, whether it was July, October, the supplementals, and now this one.
Thank you.
So they do both, the processing center does both the real estate, motor vehicle, and sewer, correct?
They do all of it.
All of it.
As long as they have a coupon that processes, they don't have back taxes, they don't have anything like that, otherwise that comes back to us.
Right.
So yes, they process everything.
And sewer tax has always been twice a year, different months than real estate and property and motor vehicle.
Yes.
That has not changed. It's always been, so hopefully that answers all the questions on Facebook.
Is it possible to have on our tax bills, the major categories of the town and what the percentage of anyone's taxes is being paid to, like, for instance, Board of Education, safety, whatever. I've seen it in other towns.
We've done that before.
Yeah.
It's usually like an
Break the
insert.
top, break the dollar bill up, this percentage of it is
Yeah.
educated, this is, yeah.
Is it possible to have that?
Rory's doing a whole insert. We
Yeah,
can-
that's,
we can
that's
incorporate
usually
it.
on the insert for it.
Okay,
Mhm.
Nice. It's helpful.
thank you.
Anything else? All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, next item is finalizing fiscal year 26-27 budget. So Anthony handed out motions for us on here. So there's a couple different things we have to do because of the additional funding that we received from the state. We have to accept that money as additional revenue into our budget. And that additional money that we got from the state and the legislation that came with it allowed us to make changes to the budget, even though the referendum last week passed. It didn't have 15% vote, but because of this special legislation this year, we are able to go back into the budget, make changes to it because of the state legislation on there. So that's what the other motions are in regards, that's on this page here, these several pages. So the first motion, someone wants to.
All right, first motion is based on the outcome of the referendum Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. Town council recommends the budget can be adopted as is. However, there is an opportunity to lower the mill rate based on supplemental state funds the town has been awarded. We already had that. So motion one, be hereby resolved, the North Branford Town Council votes to increase the supplemental Pequot Mohegan revenue account, and then numbers stipulated within the recommended motion. 49,136.
Second.
You don't want me to read that?
Motion was made by Deputy Mayor McMillan, seconded by Councilor Rose. Is that what? Okay. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
Be I hereby resolved that the North Branford Town Council votes to increase the supplemental education aid revenue account, number stipulated on the suggested motion, of $293,254.
Second.
Motion was made by Deputy Mayor McMillan, seconded by Councilor Rose. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
Be it hereby resolved, North Branford Town Council votes to move the expense related to the Board of Education armed security from the Board of Education to the Police Department. The increase of $250,000 to the stipulating account of the Police Department, and a decrease of $250,000 to the stipulated account for the Board of Ed.
Second.
Motion was made by Deputy Mayor McMillan, seconded by Councilor Rose.
I have a
Discussion?
question. I don't understand the significance of, you're taking $250,000 out of the Board of Ed,
Yes.
so you're reducing what we already approved?
Yes.
This is, we're paying for the security.
So during budget negotiations, it was discussed, the superintendent had brought up at one of our committee meetings, our communication committee meetings, he asked if the town council, or the police department budget actually, if we would consider moving the security from the school budget account over to the town side into the police department account. That was a discussion that was had. It came up like 4 days before we had to finalize the budget. So we were not able to incorporate it into the budget when we actually did the budget, because we were still working with the police department as far as how this would work and the semantics of it. So we didn't take any action on that
Well,
piece.
all you're doing is moving it from Peter to pay Paul. It's not any significant. I think it adversely affects the Board of Education budget.
Well,
Hold that thought.
the other thing is, no, there's other motions, so just, but this was brought up, and in the discussion with the Board of Education, the superintendent has stated that everything is on the table for any cuts that they have to make. And one thing that he did mention is that security was on the table. That if he had to, he would cut security. The Board of Ed, and I have talked to some Board of Ed members, and I have talked to the superintendent today. It's very much, that issue is still very much alive, and that it could be cut. They will be taking action on Thursday night in their budget. So what this action does is it preserves the security in the school system, because we will now be taking it over on the police department side. And I see Deputy Chief Pendleton is here, and Lieutenant Anderson, along with the commission. I would just like to have Deputy Chief Pendleton come up, and I've had discussions with them in regards to this piece coming over. Or if you want someone else to come up, it's up to you. You can.
We envision bringing the entire group under the PD.
You gotta talk louder, I can't hear you. You're a big guy, but I can't hear you.
We would envision
There you
bringing
go.
the whole group over to the PD, have them work with us, work with the Board of Education, but we would manage the overall process.
So who do the security personnel, who do they answer to? Do they answer to the superintendent or do they answer to the chief? Because if
Right
they're-
now, it's the Board of Education. If it changes, it would be the chief.
This was the request by the superintendent.
Okay, so you mentioned that you talked to the superintendent today?
I did.
And he was in favor of this? Because I'll ask him if he's in favor of this here, because I want to know. Because I don't believe that he would be in favor of something like this here.
He's the one that asked.
Suggestion.
He's the one that brought it up to us to move the security from the Board of Education budget over to the police department budget. And I confirmed that today and asked him if that is still what he wanted to do. And he said, it's up to us whether we would take it over, but it is on the table to be cut. If we didn't take it over, there is a good possibility that it will just get cut from the Board of Education and we will have no security in the school system.
Madam Mayor.
So that
I'll
was the
clarify.
discussion this afternoon.
He personally had called me.
I think you got to talk a little bit louder.
He personally had called me, the superintendent, and I talked to some of the Board of Ed members, and they wanted to come to the police department. This is 2.5 weeks in the making. The chief, our chief, and their deputy chief have been working diligently with the superintendent and board members to kind of communicate to see where we are. They actually, I have it on my phone and my emails, they sent me all the numbers for their budget, which accumulated to, I think, like $300,000 to $310,000. They sent it to us.
Well, we approved that the Board of Ed would get a $950,000 increase in their budget, okay?
Mhm.
And as far as I can see, taking 250 out of here, all right, reduces that 950 down to 700,000.
But there's other motions.
You gotta read ahead.
We're putting 250 back in another motion.
Yeah, you just gotta wait ahead. Just read ahead, literally. Go ahead, two motions.
Read the back page, Vin.
Right here.
Read the last motion,
Yeah, right here,
and then we can vote.
right there, Vin.
I hope I helped you clear it up, but
I think the other thing we also have to take into consideration, if we left it in the Board of Ed budget, it might get cut. And are we prepared to have a school system with no security?
the conversations that I had today, this board better be prepared to possibly get cut. But the police commission as a whole, their chief, deputy chief, we don't want to take anything from the kids. So just using a number, if we get 300 grand for security, I'm hoping that the council puts the 300 grand back to make them whole. We just want to make sure that security doesn't get cut from a police standpoint. Because you got to remember, half the officers in there are our retired officers that protect those kids. So we don't want to lose that commodity. That's a very good commodity that we built, that they had built. But I don't want you to think that, nobody fact-find what was going on. He personally called me with Board of
Who's
Ed
he?
members, the superintendent.
And I met with him personally this afternoon at 3 o'clock.
I know you did, that's why, and they called me at 4 o'clock to let me know that Thursday, I believe, is some board member meeting.
It's the
That
Board of
is,
Ed meeting.
The Board of Ed meeting, and more than likely, with the budget restraints, that's gonna get cut. So the way they had these numbers worked out, if you let it play out, you'll see it's going in the back.
I see where it's the pluses and minuses, but it's not playing out in my mind. Why can't we wait until next month and invite the superintendent here so I could hear his spin on this here?
Because we have to finalize the budget by May 31st, by town charter. So we have to do it tonight.
Vin, he did ask for this. We were in the communications committee meeting, and I'm trying to advocate for the school, but in the communications committee meetings that we had amongst the Board of Ed and the town council, this was an ask for them.
And we talked about it in the budget meeting on April 21st.
Did you read the last motion?
I read it, but I'm not convinced.
Okay.
I'd like to call the question.
Okay.
We've had plenty of debate about this.
Okay.
Call the question.
All right. Vote, can you do roll call, please?
Mayor Angeloni,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McMillan.
Yes.
Counselor Diamond,
Yes.
Counselor Goad,
Yes.
Counselor Mace.
No.
Counselor Miller,
Yes.
Counselor Rose,
Yes.
Counselor Whitworth,
Yes.
Counselor Zampano.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, the next motion.
All right, motion 4, be it hereby resolved, the North Carver Town Council votes to increase the operating transfer in the police extra duty fund by $100,000 to the Coeur d'Alene account as stipulated.
Second.
Motion was made by Deputy Mayor McMillan, second by Counselor Rose. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay.
All right, and motion 5, be it here resolved, the North Carver Town Council votes to increase the budget of the Board of Education by $250,000. The increase is stipulated under the account as in the motion.
Second.
Motion was made by Deputy Mayor McMillan, seconded by Counselor Rose. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No.
Abstain? Okay, motion carries. Okay, now, I think we need.
Be it hereby oh, I need the number.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Although you may want to, Madam Mayor, you may want to give the finance director a moment to get the number.
Okay,
I'll be
so,
right back.
so,
Yep, my
so
bad.
we will,
I saw the XX afterwards.
yeah, so setting the mill rate is item H, so we'll just skip over that while Anthony takes care of stuff, and we will go to I. Award of bid 27125,
Is that on the agenda here?
yeah.
I'm on page 91, let's see, where is that? Is this, nope.
97.
97, thank you. All right, that the North Branford Town Council hereby authorizes the town purchasing agent to award a contract for janitorial services, municipal buildings, and authorize the acting town manager to execute said contract in the amount of $126,720.00 for the period of 07/01/2026 to 06/30/2029, with the potential of two 1-year options at the town's sole discretion.
I'll second that, but I have some questions.
Yeah, that's good. The motion was made by Deputy Mayor McMillan, seconded by Counselor Diamond. Questions?
My question is, why would we not want to clean the town hall for 5 nights? I don't understand why we would not want to do that.
I think it's just trying for cost saving. The majority of the time, I don't think it would be problematic. In the winter, sometimes with salt, it might be,
I just find that amazing that you would not, your town hall, you wouldn't clean it 5 days a week. I really have a problem with that. I mean, is it really that much of a cost saving? And I could, it seems to me the bathrooms, the waste baskets would be right up to the top. I just find it amazing that you would want to do that.
I think given, we cut $2,000 for floor mat contracts. We were just trying to save additional money, given the budget.
I don't find that uncommon,
You don't find that uncommon?
not at all.
No, I mean, some offices, you'll see that it's not every night. it's every
Sometimes
night.
it's done twice a week, sometimes it's done 3 times a week. It's almost never done every day, except in
It's a
medical
really high volume
facilities
place.
that I've seen.
I mean, Public Works is still at 5 days. That's being cleaned every day. The police department, they have their own custodian, so they're not part of this contract anymore. They used to be. So, but it was cheaper for us to hire a part-time custodian, so they,
I must be the only one then.
yeah.
So was this actually a bid, or is this off the state bid?
No, this is a bid.
This is an actual bid.
I believe the tab sheet is in the packet as well.
Yeah, and this is, so this is not the contractor we have now.
This is a new vendor.
The contractor we have now did bid on the package.
Thank you.
So I do have a question. I have a question for Roy.
And,
I
yep,
have a question.
yep.
So Roy, this was a cost-saving initiative at your own initiative, correct? Or did somebody come to you and say, hey, we can save a few
It was
bucks?
written into the bid as an alternate, and when the pricing came in, the savings are listed in the memo. It's about $8,000 that we would save by doing it, so that's our recommendation.
8,000 per year.
Per year, correct.
Because it's a 3-year contract. So. And I just have a question. I see it's an add alternate for the POCO, but I don't really know, I mean, because I don't know what the terms, it says 1 LS, which I don't know what that means.
Lump sum.
But this doesn't dictate in here like how often they would clean the bathrooms. Right? Because I will tell you, the vendor that we've used the last couple of years, they are there the whole time of POCO, and they are cleaning those bathrooms every hour.
Which is necessary.
I believe it was as an hourly rate, and the concern was just that the existing vendor, if they weren't selected for the town-wide bid, might change their pricing for POCO as well. So it's not binding for POCO, but we wanted to do some of the legwork in advance.
Okay, okay. Well, because the existing vendor who does it for us is also an in-kind sponsor, so that's, I mean, they've been very good. And so having this cost here, I guess we would have to just talk to them a little bit, because I know it's not, it doesn't go into the town budget. This would be billed separately for POCO anyway, so we're okay. Okay, are there any other questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
2 opposed. Abstain? Motion carries 7-0. Okay, we're gonna go back to item H, setting the mill rate for fiscal year 26-27.
Okay, so, go with the number. Be hereby resolved that the mill rate be set at 28.81 mils on the dollar on the grand list of taxable property to the town of North Branford, Connecticut on the first day of October 2025. And the, well, that doesn't make sense. 2025?
1025 grand list, yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
and
the
the
grand
acting
list.
town manager, Rory Burke, is hereby authorized to sign the rate book for the collection of taxes on July 1st, 2026 and July 1st, 2027.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion was made by Deputy Mayor McMillan, seconded by Councilor Rose. So just to clarify, so the original budget as presented had a mill increase of 1.3 mills. So with the money we received from the state, in addition to moving the security personnel from the Board of Education over to the police department and giving the Board of Education some money, we also had money left over that we are using to lower the mill rate. So the mill rate is going from an increase of 1.3 down to 1.2 in regards to that. So that is the new increase. So I just want to do what the new, to get it as a percentage. So that is a 4.34% increase. It was 4.7, and so now it's 4.3. And so we used the money that the state gave us. The 2 reasons was to give some to the Board of Education and to lower mill rate, and we accomplished both of them, both of those things with that money on there.
I mean, I have a question. So really, all of the money that we got for both education, quote unquote education, and the P-CLOP money, this is all, that was all used to lower the mill rate?
Yes, we couldn't put anything into savings. We had to use it
Has to be.
for one of those things.
So basically, I just think that's a misnomer to say that the state gave money for education, because we're not really adding anything to education, correct?
Well,
Taking,
We're adding, because you said we're adding the security.
Well-
would have been cut.
Well, to me, that's still part of education. We just moved the security
But I think
from
that
the
has
school
to be
system.
clear to people, because I think pretty much everything you read in the paper, and I still get the paper, people are talking about towns are getting money for education. So I think we have to clarify this, so people understand.
Well, we gave them 250,000 of it.
Well, and we preserved the security
So
in the
we-
school system.
We took the security,
I know,
so.
I understand that.
So,
What
and
I'm saying.
that was a wash, no matter who doesn't understand it. But if you have a job that costs 300,000 and we switch who's paying for it, they need to take the 300,000. So that was a wash, zero difference.
No, I understand, but I
And
don't
then we
think it would
gave
be
them
clear to everybody.
250,000 out of what the state gave us went to the Board of Ed.
You didn't give them 250,000, because we still have
most
the
certainly did.
950,000. If you gave them 250,000, then it would be over $1 million that it would have increased their budget. I
So
understand
you-
it,
so-
maybe,
So you don't understand.
No, I
how you
understand
pay
it.
for
Maybe
something,
you don't
so I'm not
understand.
gonna get in an argument with you.
okay, well, then don't
Yeah.
reflect on me saying maybe people don't understand it. You took it from the Board of Ed, 250,000.
And we took the expense.
So you didn't
away
add
from it.
anything to the 950,000, because that's what you
So,
need people to
so,
believe.
so you wanted to take the security and let them keep the 300,000. So that was giving them 1.2 million.
I didn't want to do
So,
anything. I wanted an
this is
explanation from
a
the
wash,
superintendent,
but, you
because
know.
he's the one involved in this here, and I'm hearing people talk to him, but I don't want to get hearsay information. I want to know right from the
You don't
person
have to
himself.
read what we just did.
Al, I read what you just did, okay?
Well, then
I just don't
comprehend what we
think that
just
the
did.
Board of Ed benefited from it.
So,
You didn't give the Board of Ed anything. If they still have 950,000.
well, no, what we did is we
But we took a
preserved.
$300,000 bill away from them.
You
Right.
took it out
What
of their
don't you
budget.
understand?
Yeah, but you took it out of their budget. It's not like you took it away and gave it to them and they kept their same budget.
So what was it,
and the police
magic
department.
money in their budget?
I don't know. Not
The
magic
security
money.
guards didn't cost 300,000?
But what we did is we preserved the security in the school system.
Okay.
Because it's very likely that the Board of Ed would have cut security. If we did not take the action we took tonight, they would have, and we'd have no security in the school system, because they're cutting it out of their budget.
They were considering cutting.
Yeah.
They didn't cut it, but they were considering cutting it. Would any of us feel comfortable having this security cut?
As a matter of fact, if you remember my arguments during that time, I argued
You wanted to
specifically
add
for
to security.
security.
Yeah, no,
okay?
right.
I argued specifically.
But,
I got you.
but that is the conversation that I had today, and that is the conversation that Commissioner Andre had with the superintendent, and it's the conversation I had with board members today, that yes, they are seriously considering cutting security. And so there'd be no security as of July 1st in the school system, so we just preserved it by the action that we took tonight.
Okay. Thank you for the explanation.
That,
All I know is you did some mathematical figures. All you did was move money around, but they still have what we originally
950.
voted, $950,000.
They do. That's
okay?
right.
So we didn't give them anything new. We preserved that because that was going to be preserved whether the police took over the security or they didn't take over the
Oh,
security.
no, it wasn't.
Okay.
No, because the
They
state
had
legis,
300,000 less expenditure
the
by
state,
us taking the
the
security.
state legislature, in giving us this money, allowed us to open the budget,
I don't surround myself.
to do it.
I'm familiar with that.
So that's why we were able to do it. Otherwise, we could not have moved the security from the school to the town side, to the police department. And if we didn't do it, there's a very high probability that they would have cut it on Thursday night at their meeting. So we preserved it.
And we're paying for it every year now.
Instead of you guys all fighting, it's real simple. Board of Ed still has 950,000.
Thank you.
Hold on. But the council just gave us 300. Now, we just took their expense. So in real terms, Vin, the Board of Ed had 1.2 million that they would have had if we took control of it, where it should be the police department, and they still got 950. So even if they were gonna cut it, which probably was gonna happen, the council just actually gave the board more money.
Thank you.
$300,000, which came to us, so the 950 plus 300, you add the two together, is $1,250,000. That's what they really have, even though we're only controlling it, because anybody that has a firearms in this town that's governed by this town should be controlled by the police department, the police chief, deputy chief, and lieutenant overseeing. So in real terms, we increased their, not us, but the council increased their budget. They just gave some of it to us to control.
Well, they still get the benefit of the job that's being done.
And then some, because now they're gonna get trained a lot different than being at the school. They're gonna have to train under our conditions now.
Thank you,
So now
Commissioner.
it's gonna be a lot different.
I don't want to keep the argument going. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you all, thank you for the argument. I'm not completely persuaded, but I will do my own research and find out whether I made the right or wrong decision tonight.
I just want to make sure that the town understands, because people are going to say, where does that money go for education? That's my point. I understand what you're doing.
Went back into the
Right,
system.
250,
And so they still have that
Marie,
job there.
some of that is the way the state titled it.
Right.
Because Vinnie stood in front of us and said it can go to education or
To lower
to
tax.
lower the mill rate.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it was rushed through in the legislature because they had it, so, and I know, I've had conversations with Brian, the town attorney, in regards to the legislation, if you just want to make a
Yeah,
comment.
the legislation came out last minute towards the end of the session, and there were significant problems with the way it first was written. And remember, it wasn't just money, extra money for education. It could also be used to reduce your mill rate, which effectively helps the community fund education. There were certain MBR numbers and certain numbers like that. But the problem is, we noticed right away at my firm is, for communities like you that we represented that had a budget, you were not given the power to go back and amend the budget at all. That's why we talked to CCM on several times, and the legislature, at the wee hours before they adjourned, passed a different package, clarifying that you as a community that actually approved your budget can go back and adjust the budget. So that's what you did tonight. And if you look at that legislation, it's funny, the legislation, and you can't always go by the words, it's called an act concerning various criminal law proposals. That's where they put this, in a criminal law bill at the end of the session, the excerpt that Mr. Burke gave you. So what you've done tonight is effectively, you've taken, just one more time, and I think you folks get this, you've taken the responsibility from the Board of Education to provide security, something they were going to pay for, officers, retired officers in the schools. You took that responsibility away from the Board of Ed. So now with the pile of money you're giving them, they don't have to pay for security officers anymore. At the same time, you took $250,000 away from them, saying since you're not paying for the security officers, we're going to take that $250,000. So that's a net zero for them. But your last resolution, number 5, you gave them $250,000 back. So actually they're ahead $250,000 that they were when they walked in this meeting tonight. So you've given them more money than they were going to get before this legislation. So this money this town got, you've actually, but you've taken away a responsibility. You're saying we're going to provide the officers, and you've taken from them the money for that and given it to the police department, but then you gave them an extra $250,000 back that they can spend on something else because they don't need it for their police officers.
It's not an extra $250 back.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's the $250 you took away.
Yes,
You
but,
gave
okay,
them
right,
back. It's
we
not
took,
extra.
right, we took $250,000 away and we gave him $250,000 back.
So
That's
you
right.
did.
No, but we took
They don't
away
have
the
the expense
responsibility to provide security.
Vin, they still have the police officers.
They got the cops, they just don't have to pay for them anymore.
If I take this away from you, okay? I take this away. Okay, you paid for that, and I
Don't
give you
ship
one.
it.
Here. Yeah, I paid for that now, right? You still have that water?
Yeah.
That means it came from my pocket, but you still have the benefit of enjoying that water?
Yeah. but
There you go.
but
And he's
you
gonna
took it
give
away
you
from me.
another
I didn't have the benefit when you
$1.25.
took it away.
Exactly, that's what we give it back to you.
can you re-explain that?
Yeah, okay, we're just gonna move on. Oh, wait, no, we have to take a
Move
vote
on.
on that motion.
I'm not convinced. so
Okay,
please.
so,
Your turn.
so the motion was setting the mill rate. That's the motion that's on the floor.
That's correct.
28.81, is that the mill rate?
So
I second the motion.
it's already seconded, the
Oh,
motion's
okay.
on the floor.
Now we need to-
We're
now we
gonna
have to
take a
actually
vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
It's a unanimous vote.
Thank you.
Can we
Motion
get a little
passed.
golf clap?
And actually, I've been asked to say that the actual amount for the police, for the security was $347,000.
In the Board of Ed's budget.
In the Board of Ed's budget, they had budgeted $303,000 and change and $23,000 and change for Social Security and Medicare. Those are the two expenses for the security officers. So that equates to roughly $325,000. We only took $250,000 because the difference is where the police department is going to revamp the security. It's up to them. They can choose how they work that. Schedule them, salary, everything that goes to the police, they're in charge of that. And so we actually gave them an extra $75,000 in their budget because we only took $250 on the
I
budget.
can see that, okay, so that's clear to me, okay?
Okay, so they
don't have to pay for the perks and the benefits of the security, police department's gonna take that over.
Right.
I got that.
Okay.
I didn't get the other part.
Okay.
That we don't wanna go back.
So-
We're
Because I'm not-
good, we're
We
good.
got it.
Good, we're done. Thank you.
How much are we actually getting?
You're getting $250,000.
Oh, we opened up another Pandora's box.
So we will have a discussion later on as to, my feeling on this, and this is my personal feeling, it's not the council's feeling, is by preserving security, because there's a very good possibility that as of July 1st, none of those security officers would have had a job.
As long as the council understands, you're giving us $250.
Yes,
They gave us a spreadsheet, we didn't do any math, so we know this is the officers, this is how much is in their budget. They gave us a spreadsheet that said 310 grand. If it's short, that's a separate account, the council will have to work it out at that point.
well, yes, and we also brought
We
in.
really don't know what the numbers are.
We don't. We have no idea what
I got
that
an
is
email
going to
from the
look like.
superintendent That said X, but we're getting only X.
350.
So we're actually taking less
250
than the actual numbers, just so you guys know.
It's whatever this is your department now, and you guys, police department, police commission will be in charge. As of July 1st, you will be in charge of
I'm sure
school
the
security.
chief's gonna revamp it.
It's,
Well, I hope I helped you out, Vic, by getting that clarified
You've
about.
actually got me all screwed up, to be honest with
okay, we're moving on to public health report, item J. We're on page 106. Okay. So, this is East Shore Health. So this report was given to us back in September. This was done by former town manager Mike Downs when the council asked him about looking at alternatives to East Shore Health. So he did a report for us. And according to this memo, Councilor Goode asked to have it included on tonight's agenda.
And I don't remember that.
So, not exactly sure why.
The microphone's yours.
I think it was one of those things we were talking about, and I said to Mike, look, can you look into this?
Yeah, I
That was how long ago?
well, we got it in September.
September.
And so he did an analysis of what it would cost us, because this did come up during budget season last year, for us to have our own, like East Shore Health, that we don't pay East Shore Health, we have our own department. And if you look through the report, which I did originally and then I reviewed, it would cost us close to $500,000 to hire someone, do an office, do the whole thing, take care of everything that we have to do, and we pay East Shore Health just shy of $200,000 a year. So, simple math, I think it's good to stay with East Shore Health.
Yeah.
That
That's-
answered my question.
Okay, so we can move
Also, when you
on.
go to Quinnipiac, it's gonna end up costing everybody more money, even though it doesn't look like it.
Well, yeah, because there were things that weren't included in
Yeah.
there. So, yeah, so that's the long and short of it.
But you got the answer, you got
Yeah,
to look at it,
that
we
was
looked
fine.
at the numbers, it was good.
Yeah,
Right.
Good
Move
report.
on.
It's good to know.
okay. Now we're on to item K, North Branford High School Athletic Storage Building Project.
Okay.
So this came to us via the Permanent Project Building Committee. And I don't see anyone here from Permanent Project to.
Yeah, nobody could make it tonight.
But Al might be able to give us a little background on this since was on the committee and now he's liaison. So maybe he can give us a little background.
So anyway, so the building started, we all know it started as a, like, building that Board of Ed was gonna build, and it wasn't gonna cost us anything. They had the money, and then somehow we end up here. So, but when they started looking at the building, there is a sewer line that's close to where it was, so at the building committee level, we looked at it like, well, instead of having disgusting portalets there, they could add bathrooms to this building, because it's a fairly easy thing to get to the sewer line. And then that'd be at the, I guess it'd be the north end of the bleachers. So we have the bathrooms at the south end and the concession stand, and then you'd have them at the north end. When they started it, there wasn't really enough room to leave the little buildings we had there. One was like where the referees get dressed and then hide at halftime and at the end of the game when everyone's mad at them. And then all the electrical switch boxes and everything are now gonna be, they were in their little building with the referees, I believe, and the trainer. So this building grew in length so that it could encompass the electrical room, the referee's room, and the trainer's room, and still have all the storage for everything that was the original intent. So the building committee looks at it, because, we just spend money, we don't have to find it. On the building committee, it's like, this all makes sense, and it's a good idea. So, that's where the building committee's at with it. And I just hope that this can go forward and it can get up this summer, because John Florio has been driving the bus on it, and he's not gonna be here after this summer. So I think it would be a real problem if we don't get the building up this summer. And then we talked about it a little bit, you could just rough in for the bathrooms and cut the money for the fixtures and hooking it up, but at least they'd be there. The foundation is already poured. And it is the size that this represents here. It's the big size. So
Al, looking at because on page 118 it's the updated list, expense. And can you tell, because originally it was a storage building.
Right.
But if we put bathrooms in it, wouldn't we have to insulate, do HVAC,
Well, that section would need to either have heat or be winterized, and it would, so I don't know.
So I can't tell by this that there is insulation.
Right, so they have an HVAC allowance. They have 15,000 and 7,500. There's a donation of hours of labor of 15,000. So
there's
two HVACs, and I don't know what they are, because Rusty, the architect from the high school, did this, and John's not in the room to know who. I don't know all the vendors that he got donations from.
Okay, so just for the new people on the council, when this came before us last year from the Board of Ed, when they withdrew that they weren't gonna do it and pulled all the money on this project and gave it to the council. So the council approved this project at a cost not to exceed $89,000 because it's getting paid for out of contingency of the high school project. That's where the money is coming from, is the contingency amount of the high school. So that, and the original budget we received with the donations and everything else showed a cost of 88,000 and change. So the motion that was made was, we took it on, sent it to permanent project to do the project, but the cost is not to exceed $89,000. And now the new cost is $110,500.
Right.
But, you know, we have no idea on all of those donations, if they're still valid. I know the roofing one is.
So I would ask a question. So what does our policy say about project planning and how we build things, and what do we need for signatures and approvals and change orders and so forth?
Not this. Yeah, I mean, this, you know, if you remember, this
Well,
came
I
from-
know the answer. The answer, there is no policy.
Yeah, but this
And
didn't come under any.
how do we have a
policy.
foundation built to the larger size, but we weren't really, where was that decided?
So that was decided, and that wasn't the Permanent Project Building Committee either. That was, John Florio went forward with his foundation guy from his original bids.
And I'm not questioning the cost of the foundation, I'm questioning
I know.
The
the whole
process.
process. It's
I'm
like,
telling you,
how do we
the
end up
whole
in a
thing-
position, it seems like we end up in this position in many of our projects, and it just doesn't seem,
Thank God it's a small one.
yeah, I know, but it doesn't, it just,
But,
it creates
You know,
a.
this came, and I think it was a good idea. You know, John wanted to do it last spring with the students. I mean, he was gonna teach the kids how to do the plumbing, wiring, framing, and he wanted to do it that way, and I think that was a great idea. The problem is, he's leaving, and we're still
Right, it's
debating
okay to
about
have a
this.
nice
How we got the
idea.
foundation is totally wrong.
It's okay to have a nice idea, but there's gotta be like checks and balances, right? There's gotta be signatures of approvals and how you move forward, and
Totally agree.
you know what I mean? It just seems that we're backwards.
Nobody signed
sometimes.
off on it. You know?
And then we end up in this position that
Right.
it doesn't, and I think
I
it
agree,
goes
we
all
have-
the way back to the beginning when we asked for
It's a
a
long
scope
way.
of project,
I mean,
a
it's
scope
gotta
of,
be pushing 2
Right,
years.
which was the
a
Board of
project
Ed.
scope of the
Gotta be
work.
pushing
Never
2
would
years.
get it, never got it.
And we never got it, and then it got thrown back to us. So in my opinion, it gets thrown back to us, it means they don't want it. That's what that means to me. So, it just,
Okay.
But it's,
no, but you know, here we are, now we have a foundation.
It's gotta be
We
finished.
have a foundation, we have all the electrical that's not in a covered roof right now. We
And us, the volunteers,
have to solve it.
debate this and argue about it, and it just makes no sense to me. It's, where's the,
So I
where's
think-
the, where's
so I
the
think,
accountability?
You know, they really gotta get, the building should go up. Just to, number one, get this stuff covered, you know, and so maybe you just go forward with your 89,000.
But could they-
Get the shell up and get the roof on it, and.
But could they
can
rough
Get
it-
the rooms closed in so they can have referees and a trainer this fall.
can they rough in the plumbing? I mean, is that a large
Yeah, well, I
cost
think.
within the
See, John-
89,000?
John Florio was gonna rough in the plumbing, and I think if we go forward, if we can give him a green light, we'll get the plumbing roughed in. But I mean, I can verify that at the next, building committee meeting, but, you know, unfortunately, I mean, you already approved, what, 89,000? So, I
Right.
mean, if that's what you guys wanna give them that, and it goes
Well,
as far as it
that's
can.
what they have, is
It goes
89,000.
far
That
as it
didn't
can.
change.
Well, we've already approved the 89,000. They initially said that they didn't need us, they just needed our approval, they had the money. So why don't, since we've already approved the 89,000,
we'll approve the 89,000 and every dollar after that because.
Because the Board of
they
Ed
had-
did the same thing with this building that they were gonna do with the security. They were gonna get rid of it. So it's pretty simple for them. They come up with an idea, they do something good, and then they say, well, guess what? We're not doing this anymore. Just like the intermediate school, when the roof leaked for 15 years, and finally the town council took it over and fixed it. You know, they threw their hands up, oh, well, the roof leaks. So, you know, I mean, it was a Board of Ed project that they were gonna fund, and in a heartbeat, just like, and so I think the best thing that happened here is that we took the security so that they can't play that game year after year. If you cut our budget, we'll take the security out of the school. Shame on them. And I don't care what you do here, the building should get up so that we can get the electrical covered and everything else, and so if you wanna, tell them to go forward with their 89,000, see how far they get, that's what they do.
Is there money left?
You already
It's
approved the
already
89,000.
right?
Yeah, it's already approved.
Is there money in
Alright.
the high school project left over for that for the rest?
We don't know what it is yet.
We don't
There's
know.
Still stuff open and.
We don't know what it is.
Wait, we don't know what is left in
There's
contingency.
still
I mean, we know roughly that it's 350 to 400,000, and we have a leaking roof.
In the high school?
And most
Yeah.
of it's on the builder's contingency, so the builder can utilize
So you
that.
can use that to fix the leaking roof.
So we can't stipulate something we don't know.
And we know that,
There should be money.
Could be encumbered.
well,
No,
we're
it's a good
gonna,
question.
with the legislation that Vinnie got passed, the notwithstanding in the, we are probably going to get somewhere around $600,000 back from the state of ineligible costs. That's roughly 43% of $1.4 million. But, you know,
But that pays,
But-
that isn't contingency. That pays for stuff we already bought.
Correct.
Right. So,
Money
It's
spent.
not extra fund money.
so, you know, the contingency right now is around, he has like 350, 360, and we have like 120.
I think we should just go ahead with the project, get it, we have 89,000
Right, get it up.
allocated out of the contingency account, which was a number that they gave us.
And they already spent, what was it, 20?
What, we have
23 on foundation.
64,148 left out of the 89,000.
Plus there's a bunch of donations too, right? Donated money?
Well-
Donated labor?
Yeah, you're gonna have to
Oh, you're
count
gonna
on
have to
that.
go with the donated.
In order to finish the
So
project.
the price for this building
Without the donations.
is what,
300K.
300?
Yeah,
Also,
And so you've got a lot
I
of
think it's
donations.
65,000.
It's a pavilion with sides.
No, we paid 300,000 for a $100,000 pavilion. Here, we're asking for 110,000 to build a $300,000 building. But, you know, you guys did it.
Wow.
There you go. Let's pay freaking 300,000 for a $100,000 pavilion because you had ARPA money and you were like drunken soldiers.
and the pavilion
You guys want
wasn't,
me to keep going?
yeah, well, the pavilion
I got a
wasn't
long
300,
list.
Al. Just so you know, the pavilion wasn't 300 because that
The
was.
pavilion was 320 and we got yelled at for buying picnic tables that we didn't buy.
No, but that 300 was not just the pavilion, it was also site work, all the
The
sidewalks and
contract for the
everything else.
pavilion was like 270.
So,
And
but,
it was not a $100,000 pavilion, but it was state bid, so it's all good.
So how
you're
do-
right.
How do we move forward on this project?
Yes, okay, so,
Who approved that middle school there, Al? Come on.
That was bad.
Okay, I'm just kidding with you.
okay,
Well, the problem was I was on the council instead of the building committee.
There you go.
okay. So we don't have to take any
I don't care what
action
you
on
do.
this, right, Rory? Because they have 89,000, they just can. Yeah, they can just move ahead with the project,
Yeah, we'll go as far as we can.
in regards to that.
I
Okay.
hate to give up, you know, $150,000 in donations. Like I said, but, you know, you guys know better. Pay 300 for a $100,000 pavilion, but don't pay 100 for a $300,000 building. So, We'll go as far as we can with the 64,000.
Okay. All right, on to the next item is appropriation transfers.
The second one, if we could defer that to the next meeting, I have to talk with Carrie and clarify what she has in mind there. So we'll just do the top one if you could, Madam Mayor.
The 3,830
Yes, please.
general fund
Yep.
one. Okay. Why is my- Okay. Do I have a motion here from, it's on page, I can't-
122.
Almost there.
and only the first one.
Correct.
122.
On page 122.
Yep.
Yeah, you read it.
Resolved that the Northborough River Town Council hereby approves the following appropriation transfers as recommended by the town manager and the treasurer finance director.
Yes, and you want to do the one just for 3,830, just, you don't want to do that. So that's part of the motion is. Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion was made by Counselor Diamond, seconded by Deputy Mayor McMillan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Financial report.
Financial report, a couple departments appear to be going over a little bit. Both of them are driven by advertising costs. The mayor and council report is tied to ordinances and other public hearings that are driving the advertising budget over on that line. Zoning Board of Appeals, same thing, they're overspending their advertising as well at this point. Aside from that, there's nothing else related to, it's unremarkable. The revenue, again, appears to be about a 1% lag from last year, but nothing to be concerned about at this point.
So I just have a question in regards to, so the advertising for the budget referendum, does that come out of mayor and council budget?
It will, yes.
Okay, so the little blip that we had in regards to it, and we had to do the register, which was quite expensive. Is that coming out of mayor and council? I think it should come out of finance. I'm sorry. It was a cost of over $3,000 to publish an ad in the New Haven Register because what was published was incorrect. And we didn't have time. And according to the charter, you have so many days to post it before the referendum. And the only alternative we had was to post in the New Haven Register, which cost us over $3,200 to post it. I don't think it should come out of mayor and council. It wasn't our fault. So, I would like to see that changed. So, okay, since there's no motion that we have to approve this, I want to see a transfer in the next month's agenda. Next item is public works security. That's executive session, so we have to, we'll come back to that after executive session. Item P is police union defined benefit plan extension memorandum of agreement. So Rory, do you want to just?
Sure. So the police DB plan policy expires on June 30. In starting negotiations with the union, there was a request that the town consider a few different DB options during the negotiation process. The state legislature created a second tier to the municipal employee retirement system recently, and they offer free actuarial reporting for municipalities that are interested in that. And so that was one of the requests of the police union. And so we reached out to the Office of the State Comptroller and submitted the information that was necessary, but it takes a few months for them to put that together. So as a result, we requested a 1-year extension of the existing agreement while we await that information and it'll give a chance for negotiations to take that into account. And the union approved a one-year extension, so it's before the council to do the same.
Okay, so we just need a motion to approve the.
There's an MOA in the packet
Yep.
as well.
Yep,
Yep.
to approve it and to authorize you to execute it? Is that the motion that we need? Because I don't think there's.
Okay, and motion is stipulated.
Yeah, it's handed out.
Okay.
Look at the
We have a
packet.
motion that the town council approve the memorandum of agreement between the Colonel Aurora Police Lodge 040 and the town of North Branford as presented.
Second.
Motion was made by Counselor Diamond, seconded by Deputy Mayor McMillan. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Next item is 23-24 Emergency Management Performance Grant Application. And Mr. Amatrudo, I'm sorry I made you sit here so long. I should have moved it up a little bit, but this was the
That's
last
quite all
minute
right.
update.
I hope my math is okay. That's all I'm worried about here. So in our review of the emergency management area and conversations with Homeland Security, we found out that there was never a final request for reimbursement done for the federal fiscal year 23-24. We've worked with them and had a lot of help from finance. As of literally Friday afternoon, we got the paperwork. It's a 50% grant, so we would be getting $6,563 as long as we put a couple signatures on it. So we're here to request authorization to do that. At the same time, we're working on the 25, the current year application. That one should be about 7,500. The way these things work is the initial application, the quarterly reportings, and the final request all have to be signed by the emergency management director and the chief executive officer, chief elected officer of the community. So we're looking for approval for those. So it would be $6,563 that would come in now, and then toward the end of next year, we'll get to $7,500. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them.
All right, I can make a motion.
Okay, yep.
All right, that town council authorizes the acting town manager to approve the submission of the fiscal year 2023 emergency management performance grant reporting and reimbursement forms in the amount of $13,126, which will result in the grant award of $6,563. Further, the town manager also be authorized to approve the fiscal year 2025 EMPG application and subsequently quarterly reporting and reimbursement forms.
Second.
Motion was made by Deputy Mayor McMillan, seconded by Counselor Diamond. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So Mark, a point of interest.
Yes, sir.
You and I, in like 2 weeks, have been out of high school 51 years now.
Please, don't bring it back up. Please, please. I don't know how that's possible. I'm only 52. But yes, that is true.
Okay. Next item is citizen statements and petitions.
Okay, it's your choice. Deputy Mayor, I was not happy with what you presented yourself, very unprofessionally, on April 7th. You're late tonight. You couldn't even be here for the original thing tonight. You're not properly prepared to discuss the budget. You bring the wrong laptop. Why didn't you check before you come here? The gavel drops at 6:30. That doesn't mean that's when you start, because if you look at the photos, that's when you pull out your laptop. That's when you play with your phone and plug it in. And The poor mayor's doing everything alone while you're getting prepared. The pictures show it. I wanted to make sure my facts are right. That's from Totucket TV. And it's a policy you seem to have adopted lately, and it's not right. You have screwed over all 8 other members by being late. The gavel goes at 6:30. That doesn't mean you come through the door and start playing with your toys. Disgusting. It insulted me, but I was more insulted for these 8 other people. And you don't need a phone. Why are you playing here and plugging in your phone? You're supposed to be doing town business, not personal business, town business. You owe every one of them an apology. I don't expect one. There's other stuff I know, and I won't bring it up because I know how you operate. The snacks. I need snack sign. That was the thing that drove me over the top. Why did you, that's 8th grade. When you should be concentrating on, laugh now because it's funny when I put a ethics report in against you.
Cliff, that was on a, not even in a council.
So
meeting.
what?
That was in
Nobody else
a
did.
very long meeting.
Wait, I have the phone. I have the
You're
mic.
right, you do, by all means.
That is not professional. Nobody else put a sign up. Everybody else was here as long as you were. Maybe no, they were here longer because, you know, again, you tend to be late. I don't condone it, and I preferenced, this is not a personal attack, it's a procedural attack. And if you'd been here from my first thing, that's the first thing I said. It's your procedures. They've got to straighten out, or you'll get an ethics report issued against you because I don't think it's fair. I'm fighting for these 8 other people. I mean, I'm used to what happens here sometimes, and not a, but that is such a slap in the
I'm going to raise
face.
a point of order, Madam Mayor.
Yes. Yep.
I'd like to raise a point of order.
Okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
My point of order is definition of an ad hominem attack is an attack, an argument directed against a person rather than the position they are maintaining.
I did that. I said it's procedural.
I may, but when you start addressing a council member as Jeff, to me, that's personal.
Okay.
Let's talk about the position and the responsibilities, and it's not against free speech, I'm against attacking a person rather than a position.
But that's why I backed it up with pictures and facts. It's not hearsay.
That's my
Okay.
point of order.
Okay, all right.
Fair enough,
We're
Mr.
going,
Potter.
Yes,
We
I mean,
appreciate
it's
bringing it
just,
to my attention. I'll take it into consideration.
all right. I don't want to see you have to leave. I mean, that's
I
not the
don't
way.
have to leave. I am also someone that also has a career, and I'm taking my time. I don't own a business in town.
Well, maybe,
I've lived here my life. I care about, now it's my time. Your time is over. I
okay.
don't have time to get into most of my meetings on time perfectly. And that one meeting I was late. Today I was late and I decided to come here when I shouldn't. I had other things already planned. And
Okay.
I wanted to make sure I was here. So I take my time out of my schedule and my family,
Okay,
and I put it in here for the town of North Branford. While I respect your remarks, I also recognize that I put in a tremendous amount of time for this town out of my own effort, meaning there is nothing coming back from this other than care and love for this town. And
Okay.
if you want to take a meeting, I'm not sure what prompted this, because you and I have always had pretty good rapport. Maybe something, some glitch in the system.
It was that night.
Sir?
Okay.
But that night prompted you to print a bunch of pictures of me from being online. Sir, if that offended you, I do apologize. However, I have a phone, I was charging my phone. I'll continue to charge my phone. I have a laptop, and I have 2 laptops. I grabbed the wrong one, it was a mistake. It happens, right? We're not, no, I'm pretty sure you're not infallible. I'm fallible. And in a budget proceeding we were going through, we're doing the essentially a workshop. After hours and hours, I added some levity to it. If that bothers you, I'll take into consideration. However, I may not stop that. It's enjoyable. It's not meant to bother anyone, but if the council, the body has otherwise, we can certainly talk about that. But I appreciate your comments. Thank you, sir. And thanks for coming in tonight and sharing them with us.
All right, let me.
You're
I would like to
done with
just-
your time, sir.
yeah.
Thank
We're-
you.
We're gonna cease.
It's been
Okay.
good
Public
seeing you,
comments
sir.
at
All right.
this time. I think enough has been said.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other public comments at this time? Okay, we are gonna go, I need a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion to go to executive session. It will include town attorney, town manager.
This page here. It's similar
Do-
to that.
Do we need finance?
Do we need,
executive session, you need to be in executive.
do we need the police here for the security issue at Public Works? No?
It's your preference, yeah.
I mean,
Fine, me.
I
don't think so.
No, I think the matter with that is just more for procedural items on there. You are all set. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were staying for that. Had I known, I would
We didn't know what
have.
it meant at the bottom, so we hung around.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you.
I thank you, I appreciate that.
Thanks, guys.
Had I known, I,
everybody.
Good night, thank you.
You may want the finance director, Anthony indicated yes to the executive session.
okay, so include Anthony then.
I'll include, finance director, please.
Okay, so we have to do the first one, which is pursuant.
Pursuant of CGS 1-206C, matters concerning security